Welcome everyone to the Wake Up Call channel. I hope everybody out there will share this video. I put this video together and I'm going to try to do it as quickly as I can so everybody out there can see that what's unfolding in front of your faces is all scripted. It is all done by design. Your realities are flipped. They're inverted. The things that you think are real news and really happening in the world are all scripted and pretend. That's how they manipulate your reality, and that's how they move you and herd you and manipulate you the way they want to do so. So what we're seeing right now is all of this stuff playing out in real time that they've shown us in the past through predictive programming. But this narrative that continues to linger is an assassination of Donald Trump. And I've covered it over the years. And I'm going to show you the repetition in the pattern here. Because when you see the repetition in the pattern, you realize that, this likely looks scripted, right? So the Supreme Court giving Joe Biden the legal okay to assassinate Donald Trump. This is the narrative that's once again out there after the stuff that occurred with the Supreme Court. This whole king, there's no more presidents. There's now kings in the United States of America, and they could legally assassinate their political opponents. I think that the narrative with Trump will play out at some point with an assassination. I don't see them wasting all the things that they've done with Donald Trump to not have him assassinated in the future. Now, I don't know when it'll play out or how exactly it'll play out, but I don't see him having a normal death and just dying and fading away at his home somewhere. This is going to play out perfectly the way they want it to. That's why they've gotten people so emotionally invested in Donald Trump. They've gotten Christians so emotionally invested in Donald Trump. So the narrative is once again floating around. And don't forget the other narrative that's been out there for years now that they've been using, and that's the comparison of Donald Trump and Jesus Christ. They're trying to make Donald Trump into a Christian martyr. Christians are falling for this. They're looking at them as the same thing. Experts on why so many Republicans accept that God gave us Trump, that he's a prophet that's been sent down from above. They're comparing the stuff going on in the courts to things that Jesus went through, the same persecution, all make-believe. Trump is nothing more than an actor, which I'll show you in a second. Now, one of the other things I want to show you is what I covered this past Christmas season, which was this depiction of the Nutcracker that most people out there were just laughing at and mocking, which of course it was nothing but cringe, but there was hidden messages in it, and the White House put that out deliberately. Of course, when the alt-right media starts pumping it out and showing everybody and making fun of how corny it is, that's all that the masses end up seeing, but they don't see that they're being programmed while this stuff is going on right in front of them. There has been tons of programming that we've been shown with who? With Donald Trump and Abraham Lincoln. And this is the other two narratives that are going on right now. The Civil War, which you're seeing again. Who do you think of when we think of Civil War in the United States of America? We think of Abe Lincoln. And what else do we think of when we think of Abe Lincoln? We think of the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. So they've shown us staged photographs of Trump many times standing in front of the Abraham Lincoln photo, looking back at the photo of Abraham Lincoln. And this was the Nutcracker cringe video that they released this past Christmas, where everybody was just paying attention to the insanity of the unhinged embarrassment that it was. But they didn't notice that the king character that is portrayed in the Nutcracker, right? The Nutcracker has the king. What ends up happening to the king in the Nutcracker? The king is slayed, right? The Nutcracker fights the Mouse King. The Mouse King is eventually slayed. And Donald Trump, in this Nutcracker that the White House released, is playing the role of the king. They have the king, the Mouse King, dressed up as Donald Trump, wearing the suit, and they have him right in front of Abraham Lincoln being assassinated. Look. So in that clip, it's very clear to see that the Mouse King wearing the suit and the tie is supposed to be a reflection of Donald Trump, who they're referring to very often out in the public as a king in the mainstream media. Now, there's also this repetition that's been going on for a few years with an assassination of Trump. We all remember the Kathy Griffin picture of her holding up the decapitated Trump head. Snoop Dogg, remember, in his videos, holding up a gun to the orange man dressed up, as a clown, so to speak, which is supposed to be Trump. And they've talked about it many times in the mainstream, even showing us these events where Trump is speaking, where people rush the stage. They have been prepping us for this, even with celebrities like Madonna and Johnny Depp calling for it, an assassination of Donald Trump, even having an actual performance in a play where Trump is assassinated in the play and gets a standing ovation at the end. This stuff has been shown to us. Look.
Stage is violence. Are you worried that they're going to try and kill you? Why wouldn't they try and kill you?
They're savage animals. They are people that are sick.
Latest on that alleged plan to assassinate Donald Trump. This man grabbed by police at a packed rally in Las Vegas, and ABC's Pierre Thomas has new details in Washington for us. Pierre, good morning.
Good morning, David. This young man allegedly had been targeting Trump for some time. Police say planning to kill him for months.
Moments after Donald Trump took the stage at a rally at the Treasure Island Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas last weekend, a young man approached a police officer stationed at the event and asked for an autograph. According to police, a plan to assassinate Trump was underway.
By the way, folks, while we're at it, great. Thank you for the warning.
Johnny Depp on stage at a music festival in the UK when, apparently speaking in jest, he referred to assassinating President Trump. When Depp brings up President Trump's name, the audience cheers.
I think he needs help. I don't know. A lot of wonderful dark places he could go.
Then Depp said this.
By the way, this is going to be in the press. It'll be horrible. When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
Thank you, Amy. I'm just going to head on over here.
Yes, I'm angry. Yes, I am outraged. Yes, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
It's an actor dressed to look just like President Donald Trump as he's assassinated on stage. Look as his character is stabbed to death. And there's no mistaking the Trump connection. Check out the unbuttoned overcoat and red tie that hangs over his waist. It's a staging of Shakespeare's Julius Caesar that is outraging many. It all comes on the heels of that outrageous image of Kathy Griffin holding the severed head made to look like Trump. She cried during a news conference where she was both defiant and apologetic.
That apology absolutely stands. I feel horrible.
As the cast took its bow, the audience applauded with a standing ovation.
I think that they are green-lighting assassination.
So we know that they've been mentioning this assassination. They've been programming you into being prepared for this Trump assassination and believing it to be a true, real event. And this is going to be nothing more than a scripted fake assassination. Donald Trump and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they are all playing characters. They are all playing characters that you've seen in movies before. Donald Trump is playing that big bully, that aggressive president, that political figure who could end up causing World War III and bringing this country to its knees. Depicted in the movie The Dead Zone by Stephen King, who we know is obviously a government operative, very involved in the trafficking stuff, which I won't get into in this video. But in that film, Charlie Sheen is playing what eventually becomes Donald Trump, and I'll show you the clips now. And in movies like Hot Shots, this bumbling fool of a president role that we've seen over the years, which really would make no sense why these movies are coming out with character after character depicting the president as completely stupid, completely brain dead, and looks just like Joe Biden. We've seen it in Scary Movie with Leslie Nielsen, and we've seen it over the years in the Hot Shot films as well, where Joe Biden is the one that they're actually depicting, showing you this stuff, predictive programming. It's all played out. Same thing with Kamala Harris. The same character in the show Veep that Julia Louis-Dreyfus is playing, is really the role of Kamala Harris. It's literally, it's scripted the same exact way. They act, they talk the same way. So here's a compilation of clips that show you that this stuff is all planned.
In better shape than this country. What the hell is happening to this country? Anybody tell me what the hell is going on? Papers right here on the front
Believe this
page.
guy? He's just getting warmed up. You vote for him, John? And vote against this turkey. He's dangerous. A real man of the people. Sworn acts. Can't they see through this guy?
I'm challenging you right here and now to join me, to join a growing army.
Do it, General. You're insane.
Do it. You're not the voice of the people. I am the voice of the people. The people speak through me, not you. Do it.
Complete the sequence, Mr. President.
Not necessary, Mr. President. We have a diplomatic solution.
The missiles are flying.
The most exciting, the most important case.
Johnny! Don't!
Despite this current crisis, the president is putting on his best political face. 6 months ago, has plummeted since the hostage crisis began. The CNN Victoria's Secret catalog.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'm all right, no problem. I slipped in the crab. Who put that crab there? Don't tell me. There were two crabs. They work in pairs.
And I'm deeply proud of the work she's doing as First Lady with Joining Forces initiative. She started with Michelle Obama when she was Vice President and now carries on.
There's been a little change in the arrangement of who's on the stage because of the First Lady's husband contracting COVID. But look at this room and what you see. Pardon? That's right. She's fine.
It's me. Gotcha. Let's go get the door. Looks like we've got our saboteur.
That's your wife, sir.
Huh? Yeah, so it is.
If he gets wind of this, he'll use it against you in the campaign. He'll try to prove that you're incompetent.
I can prove that as well as he can. Sabotage. My God, man, what does it mean?
Find out who's behind it.
No. The word sabotage. What does it mean?
That when they leave the saloon, receptionist, the salon, they may be going to a saloon, I don't know. I caught part of President Putin's press conference, and he talked about the need for us to be able to have some kind of modus operandi where we dealt with making sure the Arctic was, in fact, a free zone.
Welcome to Kingswood Community Center. Actually, that's the one down I used to work. As a joke. You didn't know where we were anyway.
But on a serious note, I'm here today at the,
How was the speech coming, sir?
Huh? Oh, I practiced my A's. Does this look like an A to you?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Have a seat. Have a seat. Thank you. Vice President Biden, Vice President. That was a joke.
President Benson. No, you're not. Seen him on television. He's an older man, about my height. But a word of advice. Don't go around calling yourself president. I wouldn't do that, and I don't think you should either. It just doesn't hold water. Target area?
It's Minnesota, sir.
Oh, damn it, man. That's the genius of my plan. We don't have to traipse all over the world to fight. We can do it right here at home.
Sir, the enemy is over there.
Then we'll fly them over here. They can bring their relatives. We'll teach them to ice skate. Do I have to think of everything?
My fellow Americans, words have many meanings, and sometimes instead of conveying our meaning, they can suggest other meanings.
When we talk about the children of the community, they are the children of the community.
Well, we are the United States of America because we are united. And we are states.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
Whatever we have in store cannot be known.
The past was once the future. The future is, I should say, unknown.
We got to take this stuff seriously as you are, because you have been forced to have to take it seriously.
Obesity is a serious disease, and it needs to be taken seriously.
You need to get to go and need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work and get home.
I hope that clarifies the issue, and this can be the last word on those words.
Certain issues are just settled.
Clearly we're not.
No, that's right, and that's why I do believe that we are living, sadly, in real unsettled time.
So what you're seeing right now is a narrative again reemerging, but it's not a real narrative. It's fictional. The news is fake. It's not there to inform you. It's there to control you and manipulate your perceptions of reality. They want you to keep hearing this narrative about a Trump assassination. They're showing it to you. They've been telling you about it. They're playing roles. They're playing roles, and they've been waiting year after year after year. And the more support that Trump gets, the bigger effect an assassination would have on the public, where it wouldn't be a thing where, like when John F. Kennedy was assassinated, the country united. That would be a thing with Donald Trump where it would cause more division, because you'll see half the country celebrate it, because we've never seen people so invested in political figures, caring so much as if they know these figures. They've gaslit the Democrats so much that they hate Donald Trump more than anyone in the history of the earth. And they don't even realize why, because they're under hypnosis. The same with the conservatives who worship the ground that Trump walks on. They're under hypnosis. And a planned, staged Trump assassination would ignite this civil war. Now, I don't think it's going to come right around the election, but I think it's in the cards in the near future. I think they've been programming us for that. And when it happens, most people out there are going to expect it, because they're going to say, well, they've gone after him. They've taken him to court. They've slandered him in the media. They've gone after his family. It's par for the course at this point. People won't even be shocked if and when it happens, because they've already been programmed to accept it as reality. But the real truth of the matter is that it's a scripted reality that will cause a massive ripple effect on our society and our government structure when it goes down. You've even had Trump address it himself. So all those bull rushes on the stage, all those interviews with people like Tucker Carlson, all the other political figures who have been interviewed and talked about, well, what's next? Maybe they're going to assassinate Trump. Maybe they're greenlighting a Trump assassination. That's exactly right. And where do we hear that word greenlighting? We hear that word in Hollywood a lot, right? When they greenlight scripts that go into production, right? Well, you're in the middle of one right now. It's called the left-right paradigm. Republicans versus Democrats. All of them working together to move you, manipulate you, and herd you like cattle. Because remember, the people who are really responsible for this, in their books, the people you can't question, they refer to us and look at all human beings as cattle. And right now, you're in a psychological operation if you're falling for the left-right divide. This is all scripted. This is all playing out as is. And don't forget that Abraham Lincoln narrative and that video that another YouTuber sounded a lot like me did, showing you that Nutcracker clip where everybody was looking at it, looking for, oh, this is so embarrassing. This is what America has become. And they didn't even see how they were depicting Trump as the Mouse King being assassinated right in front of that Abraham Lincoln photo. And there's tons of programming with Trump and comparisons to Abraham Lincoln. The Civil War narrative and the assassination narrative. This is all scripted, folks. We'll see how it plays out. And keep in mind, after all this stuff with the Supreme Court, they are bringing this up over and over and over again about how presumptively he has the power to assassinate a rival, how Biden has the power to do this. And of course, if they do something along those lines, all conservatives will think that it's Biden and his regime and the DOJ, and they'll deny it, and it'll just cause utter chaos. Remember their motto, order out of chaos. And what better chaos than a fake assassination on a president? And of course, I say fake because all these events that the CIA runs are fake. They're false flags and psyops, and the majority of them, no one ever dies. They get a little plastic surgery and they get shipped off to another country, never to be heard from again. Just ask the likes of Epstein and all the stuff you've been programmed to think about, how Tupac and Michael Jackson and Elvis and all these people are alive in another country. But there's truth to that. There's truth to that, because many of them are. Many of them who are involved in these events that occur just get shipped off. Nothing ever happens to them. It's there to psychologically manipulate you. And watch this story, because that's what it's been planted in our heads for, a massive deception to come out of it. The likes will probably, the likes that we've never seen before. You can compare it to JFK. It doesn't compare. It doesn't compare from the standpoint of how emotionally invested people are in the left-right paradigm right now, how emotionally invested people are in obsession over Trump and obsession over Biden and hatred for Trump and hatred for Biden. It'll play out more than perfectly for what they ultimately want, which is to be able to move us and divide us into two separate countries with two separate rules of law. I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families as always.